Well, good morning, boys. Back on Project Cuda. I almost forgot to turn on the camera and hit the record button this morning. I've been out here for quite a while now. I had to unbury my bench. It was getting pretty bad. It was to the point where I was pulling shelves out to rest things on. We've all been there, I admit it. But what I was going to try and get done this morning was I got that epoxy on the most of the floor pans in the chassis. This section here especially, I want to get some color on, as well as the inside of these fenders. So I need to prime these, and then scuff them down again. Well, I'm just scuffing that E-coat with some 80 grit sandpaper just to rough it up, something to grab to. Get some epoxy on there, and then just get some color on some of these areas that I will not ever see again. But it's not so much the color that's important, but just the protection. So we'll seal it all up. But I do have a couple different colors to try, so we'll give the owner a chance to decide. I'm pretty sure that he's going to go with that color, which I think they're calling a Go Green. The actual sassy grass green that I keep talking about is quite a bit different. But I will show you. I'm going to spray a little bit. I'll use some of it on the inside of these areas here that no one's going to see. And then, like we say. Anyways, we'll bring you back. We get a little further ahead. I'm trying to get some primer on these so that I can stand back and let them dry. Mixing up some epoxy. Stuff's like honey, the activator there. I have to thin this stuff a little bit. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or not. It did turn out alright, but it just doesn't go through the gun. It comes out in chunks if I don't, so here we go. Okay guys, we're gonna experiment here. I know I've been calling this Sassy Grass Green, but this is Sassy Grass Green FJ6. Now I believe it's a lot darker than the color that's on the car. I'm gonna spray a little bit. I'm just gonna put it in these areas here, but up against the car, I mean, there's a little dab there. Sassy Grass versus Sublime. So, doesn't matter, they're both nice colors, but we're just going to use this because I bought it by mistake to fill in all this stuff. So let's get spraying, guys. See ya. Take two. That was Sassy Grass Green, which is quite a bit darker than the green that's on the car. But, all in all, it's still a nice green. This is called Sublime. FJ5, shade lighter. This is the color, in my opinion, that's on the car. Like it or leave it. Let's do this. So there's your Sublime green, which is, in my opinion, the color that the car was. Mind you, there's not much left of that color anyways. That's your door. That's about the only existing, that and the deck lid that still have that color going on. Mine is a little dirty, but that is that. Now your actual Sassy Grass Green is green. I'm gonna have to let somebody else make the call on that. I'm not even gonna weigh in on my opinion. I put a little bit of the Sublime there versus the Sassy Grass Green. Not my car. Let somebody else decide. They're both nice colors. See ya. Okay, we're back out here. Paint has dried. Things are back together. It's time to build a Cuda. Everything's coming together there just the way I like it. I've got a pretty good little seam going on there. I'm happy there. It's going to have to be tweaked a little bit, but not so bad. I got to get these fenders on. Every time I take them off, if I drop them, that's what happens. So I got a few little dings from dropping fenders, so I got to get them on the car. That's the safest place for them as it is right now. So as you see what we did there, we got all the inside covered up. That way don't have to worry about getting good coverage in there. It's covered. So the seams are lining up nicely. I've got a deck lid going on here. The preliminary gaps I am happy with. Door gap's looking pretty good. The door, I still got to put the new hinges, which are just sitting there. I got to put the new hinges on it and do some final alignment. But the gap is there. Could use a little help here at the top. But until I put the new hinges on, I'm not going to call anything done. There won't be no welders fired up until then. That's where we're at, guys. Project Cuda. Home stretch. See ya. Alright, morning boys and girls. We're back out in the shop on the Cuda. Got the hinges put on last night. Got the upper and lower on there now. It sorted out, like, I don't know, guys get frustrated with stuff. I do, but I don't show it. I really don't get frustrated. I just step back. And that's what I did in this situation. This door was hammered. It would not close. Put the new hinges on, and it wasn't necessarily the hinges that did it. It was just taking a fresh look at it. But okay, yeah, sorry. Yep, this needs to be attached a little better, but my alignment's there. But I've got all this loose, so as I start welding things in, I imagine she'll stiffen up. But that's just, I like it. That's all I had to say. Gonna turn my attention to prepping the quarters to get welded on now. I still gotta fine-tune this a little bit. I don't think that's bad in the whole scheme of things, except that it... Sorry, I wasn't even looking at you. I said, I don't mind this. I don't think it's bad in the whole scheme of gaps on a car like this, but it gets tighter as we go down. I've got the fender back as far as it can go. I could come ahead a little bit more, but I think most of my work's going to be in the door. I think once I strip this Bondo, which goes from about here down, I'm going to find that somebody probably laid a patch over top of this, smoothed it off, and caused the door to be out of shape. So I'm counting on the door to be whacked, because it fits good in the front here, lines up good with the front fender, same as the other side. Gaps around the trunk are great. I've got no complaints with that. I've got a good, well, even gap, let's say. I'm not calling numbers, quarter, half, whatever, 3/16. I don't really go by that. I'm just looking for even gaps. This side here is quite a bit tighter, but even. It does tighten up down at the bottom as well. That's where I'd like to see the other side. Just a nice tight gap. And then we've got the front fender here as well. I don't care for the way these two meet. I'm not gonna just start hacking it yet, but I don't know. Maybe it's the new fenders aren't right. Bottom of that door. What happened there? Yeah, maybe the fender's out of whack. Anyways, that's where we're at this morning. A little bit more fitment, as they would say. I want to get these rear quarters ready to go. I don't necessarily need to weld them in this weekend, but I need them to be on there for the last time. Get the holes done. Get all the fitment done. I did have a question, and maybe somebody can answer it for me. How do we go about sealing in between this and this? That just seam sealer? You put something on there beforehand? Or do you just reach in there and full of mud? Because I can't see myself getting in there to get seam sealer in there. Appreciate somebody let me know. Hopefully before I weld it in. Hopefully I post this before I weld it in. Plugging away. Sunday morning. See you guys. Well, I gotta say I'm very happy with this right here. Did a little bit more tuning on the door. Got the fender on there. I pulled the fender out to meet the door. The door is at a point where it's closing good. It's solid. Double clicked. So I will be able to play with that gap a little bit more, because I need to take this away from the door a little bit. That's no big deal. I can cut it, break it, bring it back, and then weld it back up again. Gap at the top's about 5 mil. I don't want any more than that. But she's tightening up nice. Fender is on there. I've got her screwed, chewed, barbecued, several different places. I got a nice fit up here that I'm very happy with. I think we're ready to weld this baby home. I just tried that again. That'll go in there. I'll be able to get that in later. Sail panel area is lining up nicely. Here we go. Time to fire it up. Okay. Here we go. I like it. She's welded in. Ground down. I'm just liking this. Watch. Wow. And I think I like that too. Very little tweaking I've got to do this way. Lined up pretty good. I've got to take down this gap a little bit. Open it up a little bit more, I think. It's a little too tight for me. We chip and paint. But she's all welded in. This back in here now, this was a chore. Getting the welder up in there and welding it. I think I got it. I'll be able to check at the video here to see if I did or not. But here we go. Welded in fender. I'm liking it. I didn't do this bottom piece yet. I'm gonna wait till I got some of the back area here together and I tie the two corners together with the sail panel, or the rear valance I should call it, before I commit to welding. I probably don't have a lot of movement either way though. But there you go, guys. I'm gonna work on the other side, but it would just be more of the same. So I will upload this because this video's been getting pretty long. Long in the tooth, as they would say. So have a good weekend. Cuda update number, you tell me. We'll figure it out when I upload it. Have a good rest of your weekend. What's left of it. See ya.